so optimistic and positive about this raid?
Well, I was down in Florida with the president Monday, and we had some intelligence that there was another attack imminent, that Soleimani was orchestrating this attack, that he and the Shia militia were behind killing the American contractor. They had a plan to kill more Americans, and the president took decisive action. Soleimani signed his own death warrant by continuing to come after Americans. What President Trump did was make the cost of killing an American a lot higher in the Mideast, and that makes us all safer.
Your Democratic colleagues not as positive about this. I mean, talk a little bit about what the naysayers are saying and your response to that.
Well, to my Democratic colleagues, the Ayatollah is a religious Nazi. When he says death to America, he means it. When he says death to Israel, he actually means it. He's trying to dismember the Mideast and reform Islam in his own image. He's a threat to mankind. They're the largest state sponsor of terrorism. And I can only imagine what Democrats would have said if the president had sat on the sidelines and watched this attack unfold and did nothing about it. So he did the right thing. He killed an evil guy, and he made us safer. But I do worry about what's next. So this is a dangerous time now. The Iraqi parliament is going to meet. Iran is trying to get the Iraqi political system to turn on America. That would be bad for us, and I hope that doesn't happen. Hope the Iraqi people understand that we're a better friend than the Ayatollah. They're also trying to, they'll come after us again. And here's what the president needs to tell the Iranians. You up the ante, then we're going to up the ante. The one thing that would destroy this war machine in Iran is to bomb their refineries. About 80% of their revenue comes from selling oil. And I want the Ayatollah to know, if you continue to come after Americans, dismember the Mideast, and try to destroy the state of Israel, you could be out of the oil business.
Do you agree with sending more troops to the Middle East?
Yes. I want to deter. How do you restore deterrence? I want the Ayatollah to understand that the cost of doing business goes through the roof if you continue the aggression. I want more troops on the ground to protect our embassy, to send a signal to our allies that you can count on us, and to our enemies that you better think twice about what you may do in the future. The main thing for me is for the Ayatollah to know that if you continue this game, it will be a cost you can't afford.
Senator, were you briefed before the strike happened?
I didn't know of any operational details, but I understood that he was a potential target, but I didn't know anything about the actual details of the attack. I just know the president was considering Soleimani as a target, and that was a tough call because he's the #2 guy in all of Iran. This is a big deal. He took out the Ayatollah's right hand. He was the right hand of the Ayatollah. He was the mastermind of terrorism operations coming out of Iran. It was a big deal what President Trump did. And if they want more, they're going to get more. My hope is that they will calm down and we will not escalate. But the only way you're going to prevent the Iranians from doing more is to increase the cost of doing business. Killing an American today is different than it was 2 days ago. People understand what comes your way, and I appreciate President Trump standing up for our people.
Last question from me. We did have intel that there were some sort of attacks that were imminent
Yes.
on military. Talk a little bit about that and your confidence.
Well, we had intelligence that our diplomatic facilities and our military facilities were being targeted by Soleimani and his proxies. And this was a defensive action. The reason that he was hit because he was planning to attack us, and Trump took him out. He signed his own death warrant. He miscalculated President Trump. Now, what about the future? The next few days are going to be very critical. The parliament in Iraq is going to meet. I hope they don't let the Iranians destroy the relationship between Iraq and the United States. We're a much better friend to the Iraqi people than the Iranians. At the end of the day, we got to restore deterrence. If they continue to threaten American interest and continue to try to kill Americans, we need to put targets on the table that would destroy their economy, and that is their oil refineries.
And speaking of threats, you mentioned that, President Trump taking these actions and feeling, protect the Americans, but the Bush administration and Obama administration didn't want to take the same action. So what do you say about
I would say that the threats had gotten worse, that he was planning another wave of attacks, that he orchestrated an attack against the embassy that killed a contractor, that he wanted to go ahead and send a signal that the cost of doing business is going up dramatically. The president's right. We probably should have took this guy out a long time ago. But this is a bold step, and we gotta think through what's next. The first thing we ought to do is make sure the Iraqis do not get pushed into making a bad decision by the Iranians. We've got to talk to the Iraqi political system and reassure them of the relationship. And we need to tell the Ayatollah, if you think this is bad, the worst is yet to come. All right. All right.